Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel, Canada Immigration. We hope you're doing great. Well, in this video, we'll talk about Canada announces new caregiver pilots with direct PR on arrival. Canada has unveiled an innovative approach to attracting skilled caregivers through its new Caregiver Pilots program. This initiative promises a significant shift in immigration policy by offering direct permanent residency, PR, to eligible caregivers upon their arrival. Aimed at addressing the growing demand for qualified caregivers in Canada, this program is expected to streamline the immigration process and provide a more secure pathway for those seeking to build their lives in Canada. So, to get all the information, pay attention and watch the video through to the end. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for upcoming episodes. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. Canada announces new caregiver pilots with direct PR on arrival today. Immigration Minister Mark Miller announced new, upgraded caregiver pilots that will allow caregivers to continue coming to Canada while they work to make the caregiver pilot programs permanent. The new pilot programs will grant home care professionals permanent residency, PR, as soon as they arrive in Canada. They will also be able to work with organizations that provide temporary or part-time care to those who are semi-independent or recovering from an injury or illness. If you have any query, please contact us on Instagram and Gmail. This new method enables caregivers to more easily find suitable work with reputable companies and gain clear, uncomplicated access to permanent resident status on arrival in Canada. Here's the official announcement that Minister Miller of Immigration made. Candidates interested in working in Canada's home care sector will be able to apply under these new pilot programs if they match the following criteria. 1. A minimum of level 4 in English or French proficiency based on the Canadian Language Benchmarks, CLB. 2. Education level equivalent to Canadian high school diploma. 3. Have latest relevant work experience. 4. Have a full-time job offer in home care. 5. Miller confirmed that the pilot is expected to be launched by the end of fall 2024 or, at the latest, in early 2025. If you have any query, please contact us on Instagram and Gmail. These new PR on arrival pilot initiatives represent a significant step forward in Canada's attempts to fulfill the changing home care demands of its varied population. More information will be available prior to the pilot's official launch, including full eligibility requirements and application instructions.
Today I'm very pleased to announce that we are launching new pilots that will provide permanent residency status for caregivers as soon as they arrive in Canada. The biggest change coming in these new pilots will be providing a one-step immigration process. Before, caregivers first needed to get work permits and then obtain work experience before applying for permanent residency. Under the new rules, we're simplifying the process and providing them with a clear, straightforward pathway to stay and care for our loved ones. The change will notably provide more autonomy for caregivers to leave workplaces with abusive situations and seek opportunities to advance in the care sector. And Lord knows I've heard a lot of those stories, not only today, but in the past, as we've been listening and reaching out to people that have been providing that support and have been in abusive situations. I'm also pleased to share that we are lowering, out of fairness, the language requirements to Canada Language Benchmark 4 under these new PR on arrival pilots. Our aim is to strike a balance between breaking down the barriers caregivers face to get PR and selecting newcomers who will be resilient to changes in the labor market. Lowering the language requirements is a must-needed change that we've heard directly from the community on, and will align with other programs in my department, as well as provincial programs, creating better consistency and fairness for all applicants. Caregivers will still have the needed language skills to work in the caregiving field. Let me be clear about that. And finally, as we look to address the desperate need for caregivers, we're also expanding the pilot programs from private household employers now to also include organizations who will directly employ home care workers. This will allow for and not-for-profit organizations to provide job offers and help address home care needs where labor shortages exist. But let me be clear, we're not including placement agencies.
Our expectation prior to the announcement? It is expected that Minister Miller can make the 2 caregiver pilots a permanent program or announce 2 new caregiver pilots with new changes for further improvements. If you have any query, please contact us on Instagram and Gmail. The Globe and Mail reports that a new enhanced version of ongoing caregiver pilots will offer a pathway to permanent residency to caregivers upon arrival in Canada. As we work to implement a permanent caregiver program, these 2 new pilots will not only improve support for caregivers but also provide families with the quality care they deserve, Minister Miller said in a statement. Caregivers working for groups that provide temporary or part-time care to people who are semi-independent or recovering from an injury or illness will also be eligible for the new programs, which Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, IRCC, said will eventually become permanent. As part of its overall immigration targets, Canada will accept more than 15,000 caregivers as permanent residents over the next 2 years, according to the IRCC. The current programs, the Home Child Care Provider Pilot and the Home Support Worker Pilot, enable eligible caregivers and their family members to come to Canada with the intention of becoming permanent residents. If you any query, please contact us on Instagram and Gmail. The application process is dependent on the applicant's position and the quantity of qualifying work experience they have. The guidelines require caretakers to pass an English language test at level 5, which is higher than the level necessary for citizenship. They must have worked for 2 years and completed 1 year of higher education. To be eligible for the new improved pilot programs, foreign caregivers must have an offer for a full-time home care position, meet language standards, have the equivalent of a Canadian high school diploma, and have recent and relevant work experience. If you any query, please contact us on Instagram and Gmail. This new pathway means that caregivers can more easily find proper work with reliable employers and have clear, straightforward access to permanent resident status as soon as they arrive in Canada, the IRCC stated in a statement. The introduction of the Caregiver Pilots program marks a forward-thinking step in Canada's immigration strategy, simplifying the pathway to permanent residency for skilled caregivers. By providing direct PR on arrival, Canada not only addresses its critical need for caregivers but also strengthens its commitment to welcoming valuable contributors to its society. This initiative is poised to benefit both the caregivers and the communities they serve, fostering a more inclusive and supportive environment for all. If you any query, please contact us on Instagram and Gmail. That is all for today. In this video, what are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later, in the next video. Till then, take care. DDDD.